Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 2 of the Meng King Tiger build, which I was lucky enough to win on eModels live stream with Skipper Ted and Mr. Fox. We are now into construction. And I'm going to try and keep these videos as short as possible. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so part 1, wheels. Looking at these instructions, there's a grand total of 8 road wheels part A, 10 road wheels part B, 2 idler wheels and 2 drive sprockets. So we are going to need sprues B and sprues A. So these are sprues A, so we have the idlers and the drive sprockets on here along with all the stuff, and then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues with the A's and the B's on. So let's have a look at these wheels, see if they're going to need some filing and stuff when they're done. There's no seams around the edges, but obviously where it's connected to the sprue it's going to need tidying up. So I'm going to get on with these and these. Any issues I shall highlight them, but for now I shall get on with these and we'll see you shortly. Okay, I just want to show you something quick, an issue I've just had. When you come to cut these idlers off, zoom it so you can see it. So if you can see where we've cut it, we've got these nubs. Let me get something to point it out with. Got there, these nubs where we've cut it. Now I'm reasonably confident with the knife, so I've been taking these off the rest of the way with the knife. Now I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. That one there, as I was trimming this, the knife jammed, and as I pulled it free, I actually went and cut half of that sprocket off. And there, as I went the other way, did the same thing. I just wanted to highlight that. It might be best if you take those cutouts, those where we've cut it off the sprue, these things, and actually trim them down a little bit further with the cutters before you get in there with the knife. Obviously I'm going to be able to hide that section in with the tracks once we come to that part. So I just thought I'd highlight that there is a danger of you actually cutting the sprockets off the actual drive sprocket itself. So that's the first set all cleaned up. I'm about to do the second set, and then we'll get on to putting them together. So catch you shortly. Okay, that is both sets of idler wheels and the drive sprockets cleaned up. So we're going to stick them together. So first of all we'll do actual drive sprockets because they're simple. We'll zoom it in a little bit. I should do. So these have a guide section there, and on the inside of this one there's a pin, so nice and easy to locate, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to add to it. So want a little bit of glue in there. I'm just going to touch a very small amount just around the edge there. And that should do us. So it is. And that is that together. Cool. So one. So that's that one. Now onto the idler itself. So this one needs a polycap. Got our polycaps out, and apparently there's polycaps small and polycaps large, but all of these polycaps in the bag all look the same size to me, so we shall take one polycap. And according to the instructions, this and the polycap sits just inside there, so, and then that sits over the top of that, and then this slides into it. There's a tiny little groove there which you can see. So it looks to me like we need to take that out of there, take that out of there, don't lose the polycap. It looks like the polycap actually will go into this piece, even though the instructions don't show it to be put together that way. So put that in there, see if it needs pushing down at all. Little pushy thing. Nope, that's it, pretty solid. Right on that there, so it won't go in any further. So this will go into here, and as it goes in, again there's a locating knob, and it should just click into place just like that. I can actually show you on there. Can you see it? And that will match up to that there. It's a pretty tight fit, so I'm not going to put any glue in that bit because I don't think it needs it. Or does it? I might put a little bit on, just a dab, let it soak around. We're just going to put a tiny little dab, let the capillary action do the work. There's that on camera, so yeah, just touch it to it, let it take it. And then this piece again, locating pin and a locating slot. So we should put a little bit of glue again just around this edge. Don't want to put too much on. Glue everywhere. And I'll just drop that. Reasonably close. Push. There we have it. So we need to sand a little bit off. There. That's it. That's the idler. Done. Make your mind up. So, one idler, one drive sprocket, complete. I shall get the others glued together, and then I shall start stripping down the actual main wheels. So, catch you shortly. Okay folks, that is those complete and done, all cleaned up and ready. Now, the actual road wheels themselves are road wheel A and road wheel B. Now they're numbered for a reason, if we zoom in, because some of these will be inner and others will be outer. And go from the experience from the other tanks I've made, it does make a difference which one is which. Even though they look similar, there's slight differences. And if you look a little bit further on in the instructions, it actually shows you here for this part. No, keep going down. This part, it actually shows you there. Road wheel A go on first, followed by road wheel B. So what I plan to do is, it states on here to take B24 and B25 for road wheel A. Road wheel B is B23 and B25. So I'm going to cut off the sprue, as we need 8 of these, 8 B25s and 8 B24s, and then once they're built and complete, I'll get a little pot, something like this. Let me zoom back out a bit. No, wrong way. And put them in separate pots so we know which ones are which. Because if you do put them on wrong and glue them down, it can make a bit of a messier tank. So I'm going to carry on. I'll get all these ones done first. Road wheel A and then road wheel B, and we shall be back. I'll talk to you shortly. Okay, we're back. So I'm looking on the sprue to see if I can see a difference between what was B24 and B23. And if you look at B23, it's got this bit sticking up here, whereas B24 doesn't. So it's quite, the other side they look identical, but on this side some are raised and some aren't. So that is the difference. Now it's looking like there's a heck of a lot more. That's right, because there's 10 road wheel B, which is part 23, which is the part with the raised section, and there's only 8 of these ones. So that's the difference between road wheels A and road wheels B. So anyway, back on with it. I'll be back shortly. Right, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing to get these nubs off and clean the wheels up. Now I'll try my best to keep this in view and just show you what I'm doing. Obviously we're using a sharp knife. Now I've been using sharp knives for a very long time. When I first left school I worked in a pot bank making pottery, so I used to use sharp knives for cleaning seam lines. They used to call it fettling. So doing this technique, I have a lot of experience doing this, and I have cut myself a lot. Now it's counterintuitive to actually cut towards yourself. You should always try and, when you can, cut away, but to do this it's very awkward, and it's getting to know how much pressure is required to take this nub off. So you can see there I've taken, if it'll focus, half the nub off going one way, yeah, going this way. So now I'm going to turn it around and take the lump off, or the rest of it. Now you're not applying very much pressure at all, you're literally just shaving the plastic off. And if you take the flat of the blade and put it at a 45-degree angle like that and run it past where you've just fettled, if there's still a big enough lump there, you'll hear it click over the lump. So then it's a matter of just very gently shaving that bit off, trying not to gouge into it. You're pretty much keeping the blade as flat as you can. You'll get to a point where it's not really doing anything at that point. Stop, don't try and take any more off. See, I'm not really pressing it, I'm just rubbing the knife over the top of it. So we'll do that for all of them. Flip it around, take the high point off on the other side, run that over the top. It's still a little bit there. Yeah, we're taking next to nothing off, and there we are. That's pretty much smooth. Last nub. And again, that's pretty much smooth. We'll then take a sanding stick, and we're not just going to rub it flat. We're going to take it and we're going to hold the wheel still and go around the wheel with the sanding stick. So you're literally following it around like so. Yeah, once you've got that bit sanded, keeping it as flat as you can to the surface as you follow it around. Stay with the edge of the wheel and just follow it around, then turn the wheel and then do the next section, following it around nice and easy, not putting much pressure on, let the stick do the work. So you've gone all the way around. We're doing this for every wheel, all the way around. So we've now pretty much smoothed that wheel off all the way around. It looks quite rough. So get your knife again. Because we've sanded, it's going to put a tiny little bit of fettle on the edges. So again, we're just going to take the knife. We're not going to put any pressure on the blade at all onto the piece, and we're just going to scrape it around on a 45-degree angle like so, just to take any of that excess off. And you can see it starting to, if it'll focus, there's tiny little threads coming off like this. And that's what we're trying to get rid of. So it's literally just going around it, taking that edge off, tidying it up. So once we've been all the way around, got all that off. Again, no pressure at all. Flip it over. Do exactly the same on the other side. You're probably not going to see most of this stuff, but it's all, you know you've done it, and it's always nice to be, well, I'm lost for words, but it's always nice for, take a bit of pride in what you're doing. So that's now cleaned, so we're now just going to get a big brush and brush all that rubbish away off the wheel, both sides. And there we have it. That one is now all cleaned up and ready for assembly. So 36 more to do and we'll be done. We'll be ready to put them together. So I'm going to carry on. I'll talk to you shortly. Okay, we're about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 wheels in, and as you can see, my sanding stick's starting to fill up. So as you're sanding away, nothing's happening. And rather than get out a new one or throw this away, yourself a nail brush from the supermarket, 50p or something like that, and you literally, all you have to do is just brush the sanding stick. Not quite as new, but not far off. So just a little tip, and you'll be able to start sanding again. Okay. Okay, folks. Next thing I've found is in the instructions. Shows you here you can use B13 or B12 for the axle connection. So I've been trying to spot what the difference is, and it is pretty subtle. You can just about see it on there. This one has a slight groove on the bottom, whereas 12 is round. Now I've also noticed when you come to do the road wheel B's, you'll be using these ones. Get this in there, and these are also round, or you can use these ones which are the same as these. So if you choose to use these ones, make sure you use these ones for the other set of wheels, vice versa. Same as that, if you decide to use these, be careful you don't mix them up. So just thought I'd point that out while I drop everything. So I shall carry on. Okay, I've decided to go with the ones that have got the little groove cut out of them. So as you can see, these have got nubs on as well, so I'm going to use exactly the same technique as I used on the wheels, just to cut it away one way, then the other, and then go around it with the sanding stick, brain freeze, and then around again with a knife just to clear off any flash or anything like that results from sanding it. So I shall get these done, and then we'll take a look at putting one of them together. So I shall be right back. Okay, so these are all now cleaned up, ready for assembly. So B24, this is this one, and B25, this is this one. So B24 we're going to place a polycap inside there, like so. And then this will sit over the top of there, like so. And then this sits in there, like so. So it actually sits proud, like that. So, just have a quick look at the manual to see how these look once they're on. So that you can see them there. Actually sticking out the tank out of the wheel. So it is correct. Just need to double check that. Seems a little bit strange. So a little bit of glue in there on the inside edge. I can't get the lid off. A little bit of glue around the inside edge of that. You want to keep the glue away from the polycap as much as possible, just in case you do want the wheels to move. Push those together. Give them a moment. If you wanted to, you could leave this to dry for a bit before putting this bit on, and then go around with your sanding stick again, just to give you that extra bit of smoothness, for want of a better word. But looking at these, they look okay for what we need. So very small amount of glue inside that hub, and then on with that bit. I'll wait there for a moment. It sticks, and there we have it. Road wheel A, first one done. So I shall get the rest done, and then I shall strip down road wheel B and get those done, and we'll catch you then, and I'll show you how to put that one together. So talk to you shortly. Okay folks, that is road wheels B all cleaned up and ready for putting together. So these are pretty much identical as the other ones. So we need a polycap into that part, exactly the same as road wheels A. We need glue onto the inside section of there. With a gap, get them pushed together. Now the difference between these ones and the ones we did is just that that sticks out a lot further than these. As you can see, these are quite small. So go in exactly the same place. We want a little bit of glue inside there, but enough for it to stick to. Take the cap and just drop it in, hold them together for a moment, and that is road wheel B. So it looks as though in the kit we've got 2 spares of these, so we may be able to mount a couple onto the bodywork somewhere at a later point. Now these little caps were quite a nightmare to clean up, so once this is dry and fully set, I should be going around and cleaning these hubs up a little bit more. So I'm going to get on and get all these done, so we'll be back shortly. Okay folks, that's all the wheels completed. So we have the road wheels A and the road wheels B finished. So we have road wheels B, which will sit on the inside of the track closest to the hull, and then we have road wheels A that will sit on the outside of the track, slightly overlapping road wheels B, like so. And we also have the two idlers which sit at the front of the tank, and we have the two drive sprockets which sit at the back of the tank and actually drive the tracks around directly from the engine. So, doesn't look a great deal there, but that's it. An evening and a half's work. Just this. So there's a lot more to do in wheels than you think. Now I'm going to call this video here done. I know we've only done the wheels, but I don't want these videos lasting any more than 15-20 minutes. 25 minutes at a push. So, next episode we'll start making the lower hull and get all that done. So until then, as always, be good, be safe, keep making models, and we'll catch you next time. As always, thanks for watching.